Part A, factorise completely x cubed plus x 10x squared plus 25x. First thing I'm going to note is that all of these terms have got an x in them, so I'm going to factorise the x outside. So that will leave me with an x squared plus 10x plus 25 on the inside. I now need to factorise the quadratic on the inside, which is going to be x plus 5, x plus 5, because the 5 times 5 is 25, and the 5 plus 5 is 10. So I could rewrite this as x times x plus 5 all squared. Part B. Sketch the curve with that equation, showing the coordinates of the points at which the curve cuts or touches the x-axis. So, let me draw a set of axes first of all. Okay. So, I know that my curve is going to intersect on the x-axis when x is 0, or when x is minus 5. And I know that the minus 5 is going to be a repeated root because of the squared. The repeated root is telling me that my curve, my quadratic, is going to touch the axis at that point and then go back down. So it's going to come up, it's going to touch at minus 5, come back down, and then it's going to go through the origin there. So that is my cubic equation. And let me just check, showing the coordinates of the points at which the curve cuts or touches the x-axis. Yep, so it touches at minus 5 and it cuts through at 0. Next, the point with the coordinates minus 3, 0 lies on the curve with the equation given, where a is a constant. I need to find two possible values of a. Well, given that this is part C of the question, it must have something to do with the previous parts. Excuse me. So let me compare my function here. I've got something cubed. Here I had something cubed. I've got 10 times something squared plus 25 times the x minus a. So I can see that this is the same function as what I had previously, the same cubic function that I've just drawn, but it is with the x plus a on the inside. So that's telling me that I'm translating this graph, I'm moving this graph in the x direction. I'm then told that when I move this graph in the x direction, it is going to go through the coordinate minus 3, 0. So it could be that the graph has moved to minus 3 like this and is now looking like that. In which case it would have moved 2 squares in the positive direction. In order for it to have moved 2 squares in the positive direction, a would have had to have been minus 2. It would have been the transformation x minus 2. Because remember, when it is on the inside of the bracket, when it's on the inside of the function, we do the opposite. So I would add 2 to all of the x coordinates. So a being equal to minus 2 is one possible value of a. Alternatively, it might not have been the minus 5 points that moved to be at minus 3. it could have been the 0. And the graph is actually now doing this shape, where this point here would be -8. In which case my graph will have moved 3 squares in the negative direction, which would be given by the transformation y equals f of x plus 3. So the two possible values of a are either 3 or -2.